Hello everyone, welcome back to Global Maze. Today, from a fair and unbiased standpoint, we're diving deep into one of the most complex and long-standing geopolitical conflicts, the tension between Russia and the United States. Let's get started. The tension between Russia and the United States has shaped world politics for over a century. From the aftermath of World War II to modern geopolitical conflicts, the question remains, how did it start, who is responsible, and are we headed toward World War III? The tension between Russia, then the Soviet Union, and the United States officially began after World War II, with the defeat of Nazi Germany. Two superpowers emerged, each with starkly different ideologies. The U.S. championed democracy and capitalism, while the Soviet Union promoted communism and state control. The Cold War became a 45-year standoff, marked by nuclear-armed races, proxy wars, and massive espionage operations. But what really set off the hostilities? Many argue it began with the Soviet Union aggressive expansions of communism, leading the U.S. to adopt containment policies. After the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, Russia faced economic and military decline, while the U.S. emerged as the dominant global power. As NATO expanded eastward into former Soviet bloc nations, Russia felt increasingly cornered. Many Russians viewed this as a breach of promises made by Western leaders after the Cold War. With Vladimir Putin's rise to power in 1999, Russia sought to regain its influence. The 2014 annexation of Crimea marked a significant moment in Russia's assertiveness, drawing widespread condemnation from the US and its allies, which led to sanctions and a deepening rift. But who is really to blame for the ongoing U.S. Russia tension? Both sides tell different stories. The U.S. argues that Russia's actions in Crimea, Ukraine, and Georgia destabilized the world, while Russia accuses NATO of encroaching on its borders, violating security guarantees. Today's tension goes beyond territorial disputes. It involves cyber warfare, economic sanctions, and military posturing. U.S. sanctions have hit Russia hard, and cyber attacks on both sides have added fuel to the fire. Military exercises by both nations continue to escalate, with NATO and Russian forces eyeing each other closely. Today, the US still holds the advantage in terms of military spending, technological capabilities, and global alliances. However, Russia maintains a formidable nuclear arsenal, significant influence in energy markets, and resilient military strategy, making it a force to be reckoned with. The question on everyone's mind: are we headed toward World War III? While both the US and Russia are reluctant to engage in direct conflict, proxy wars and cyber attacks increase the risks of miscalculation that could spiral out of control. The conflict in Ukraine has become a focal point of U.S.-Russia tensions, with some fearing it could spark wider global unrest. Both nations are aware of devastating consequences of an all-out war. Nuclear deterrence remains a strong factor, preventing direct confrontation. But the risk of smaller conflicts escalating through proxy wars, cyber warfare, or military posturing keeps the world on edge. Though a third world war may not be inevitable, the tensions between Russia and the U.S. will continue to shape global politics. Diplomacy, however fragile, remains our best hope for avoiding a catastrophic conflict. But as long as both powers vie for global dominance, the potential for escalating is always there. As the conflict in Ukraine rages on, some analysts argue that Ukraine has become a proxy battleground for a larger struggle between Russia and the West, particularly the US. NATO's military support to Ukraine and Russia's aggressive moves have turned the country into flashpoint of East versus West, reminiscent of Cold War era proxy conflicts. While Ukraine fights for its sovereignty, global superpowers leverage the situation to advance their own interests, raising concerns about whether the war is primarily about Ukraine or broader geopolitical dominance. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for the latest updates. I'll see you in the next video.